You don't see this much snow every day at Carolina, plenty for a good waltz. And it's definitely sticking. Stick around, and I'll let you know what to expect as we get into our first taste of winter weather.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Good evening, I'm Alex Lawson.
And I'm Jenny McClendon. Thanks for joining us for the December 4th edition of Carolina Week. Our top story tonight, Chancellor James Measure isn't getting much feedback following his apology for a pay agreement he made with Vice Chancellor and General Counsel Susan Eringhouse. He initially defended his actions, but now says the decision was a mistake he can undo. He apologized in an open email to the campus community. Since then, the Chancellor's office has received only a few letters, all commending Measure for owning up to the mistake. Eringhouse was promised $320,000 for non-university work in Washington, D.C., and a year of teaching at Carolina's law school. Measure was criticized for making such a pricey deal in the wake of state budget cuts.
In this week's Speak Out segment, we asked students, how do you feel about the Chancellor's actions and his apology?
Yes, I think it's good that he apologized because it was such a large amount of money for Sue Eringhouse to be paid when she's not even going to be on campus.
I was happy he owned up to it. I was glad that he said that, he was wrong.
Although I don't agree with his decision of the past, the fact that he did come forward and apologize, that takes a lot of courage, especially with such a wide base of criticism he receives from students and from the public and from other faculty. So that took a lot of guts.
Our sample isn't scientific and shouldn't be taken as a reflection of widespread opinion on campus.
Off campus, students are making some living changes, but not by choice. Police say there's been a peeping Tom lurking around Mill Creek apartments for the past 2 weeks. Mill Creek staff acted fast by frosting windows in most of the buildings and urging students to keep blinds closed at all times. They say residents describe the peeping Tom as a white man in his late 30s with light hair.
Carolina's campus has been called one of the prettiest in the country, but can we keep our reputation? Carolina Week's Ann Chafee has the story.
One of the first things you might notice when you come to Carolina is the trees. There's nothing prettier than those 50-year-old oaks. And then you'd notice the construction.
It's impossible not to notice it. I mean, when you see yellow fences, yellow plastic fences up and barrels around and a lot of dirt and the trees are missing.
And that can be frustrating.
It's destroying the beauty of our campus.
Facilities Planning and Construction Vice Chancellor Bruce Runberg knows dealing with the construction can be annoying.
It is understandable that a lot of people are complaining about all of the digging and all of the noise and dust.
When all the construction is complete in about 6 or 8 years, 6 million square feet will have been added to the campus. The main goal of the development plan is to make South Campus as inviting as North Campus, but construction brings a hefty price, besides the $1.2 billion it's costing.
I would say we have lost, particularly in Rams Head and with the science complex, about 150 mature trees total.
And with at least 6 more years of construction, it's almost certain even more will be cut down.
If we can save trees, we will.
Runberg says the university is doing everything it can to make sure that progress doesn't destroy natural beauty.
We have developed some methodologies of saving trees by using planking and sawdust, barriers around trees so that the root systems are not damaged.
So when all is said and done,
we will have planted more trees than have been removed.
Those concerned about the look of the campus hope that's the case. In Chapel Hill, I'm Ann Chafee, Carolina Week.
Runberg said replacing the trees and landscape is not instantaneous. Students must be patient. The aesthetic qualities of the campus will be restored. Changes are also underway at UNC Chapel Hill admissions. Carolina led the way for many universities by removing its early decision deadline. Since the admissions department changed its policy, fewer students have applied. Here's a look at this year's numbers compared to last year's. The number of applicants this year is down to about 800 students. That's primarily because almost 1,000 fewer out-of-state students have applied this year. Now the number of in-state students is up slightly.
With student elections a little more than 2 months away, presidential wannabes attended an interest meeting Tuesday night on campus. Several hopefuls came to the optional meeting held at the Union Auditorium. During the informal session, Board of Elections officials handed out new elections guidelines. New policies include stricter rules for email postings and an increase in the number of signatures needed to get on the ballot.
Carolina students in need of cash may be able to get some extra change from student stores. Because so many faculty members turn in their textbook requests for next semester on time, student stores can order the books early, letting students sell more of their books back this semester and buy more used books in the spring. Students can also use unc.campusexchange.net to buy and to sell books online. Coming up, exams are right around the corner, and some students are facing a decision to cheat or not to cheat.
A special report after the break.
Escucha Smokey antes de tratar. Solo tú. No juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego. Fuego. No hay nada para un pobre conejo asustado o un pobre ratón sin casa en que vivir. Si un hermoso bosque es lo que deseas, no juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego.
Solo tú puedes prevenir los fuegos forestales.
¡Fuego!
It's great that the Salvation Army does so much for the needy during the holiday season.
But you know that isn't all the Salvation Army does. They also run Boys and Girls Clubs.
They also provide relief for those who need it after natural disasters.
And they help the homeless by providing temporary relief and shelter.
They even run summer camp for low-income children.
Need has no season. Please help the Salvation Army help others.
It's that time of the semester again, time to study for final exams and finish up final papers.
But Carolina Week's Stephanie Lockwood says you might want to think twice before turning in that final paper.
It's a time members of the Honor Court dread. Assistant Dean of Students Melinda Manning says they have their hands full.
We always see an upswing near the end of every semester, I think mostly because there's so many final exams and final papers being turned in.
Manning says she thinks the increase in cheating cases is because of the extreme stress students feel at this time.
They start panicking, they're not really thinking straight.
UNC graduate Matt Buchema says that's what happened to one of his roommates.
He got really stressed out one night before a paper was due. He had put it off. So he just waited till the night before. He couldn't do it. So he just went on the internet and copied one of those papers, and he turned it in, but he got caught.
Manning says she's not surprised because 8 out of 10 cases the Honor Court receives deal with plagiarism from websites like MyFreeEssays and CheatHouse.com.
Internet basically makes it so much easier to plagiarize. It's so incredibly easy for someone just to cut and paste off websites.
Manning says she's seen cases in which students copied whole chunks of a website, never thinking their professors would catch them with all the vast information on the net.
What students don't realize, professors know how to use the internet too, and they're wising up.
Like philosophy professor Jeffrey Sayre McCord, who uses a free software program from the University of Virginia to detect plagiarism.
It picks out strings of words that are repeated in different papers.
But Manning says many professors catch plagiarizers without using special software.
Professors will actually cut and paste a section out of a student's paper and actually put it in a search engine. The most popular one is Google. And then Google will just go out and find the original website.
So Manning says students should think twice before cheating because it will come back to haunt them. In Chapel Hill, I'm Stephanie Lockwood, Carolina Week.
The standard sanction for academic cheating is suspension for a semester and an F in the course.
Earlier in the semester, we reported that you might see a new grade on your transcript if you're caught cheating. Tuesday, the committee considering the XF grade for cheating students nixed the idea. The Committee on Student Conduct passed a motion to accept some changes, but not the XF grade. The committee will submit the finalized changes to Chancellor Meiser on December 15th. This time of year can cause stress for many people. Ignoring stress can lead to anxiety problems and major depression. Medical reporter Elizabeth Helmer has more.
Daphne Vondenheuvel says that just before Halloween of this year, everything that could go wrong in her life did. Her grandfather died in October, and then her boyfriend broke up with her. Vondenheuvel says she was so stressed that she admitted herself to UNC hospitals.
Every day, I think, okay, nothing else can go wrong, and sure enough, there it was, like, well, okay, yeah, this person's in the hospital, well, this person died. Well, this person broke up with me.
Stress on the body is kind of like stress on a rubber band. The right amount of stress can make the rubber band useful. This is like the good stress that gives your body the adrenaline you need to get things done. But when you put too much stress, the rubber band can snap. Chapel Hill psychologist Madeline Crockett says stress can be especially intense for students around the holidays.
It's like I need to get the perfect gift, and I need to manage my money well, and I need to not spend too much money. So there are just pressures all over life to do well and to perform well and to make parents proud.
Early warning signs of stress overload include trouble sleeping, headaches, increased edginess, and using drugs and alcohol more often.
Take a deep breath in.
Crockett says if you're stressed, try cutting back on some activities or just learn some ways to relax.
You know, I try to just take a minute just for myself and think, okay, you can do this, just breathe.
This holiday season, taking a little time to just do nothing may actually be good for you. In Chapel Hill, I'm Elizabeth Helmer, Carolina Week.
You can visit our website at carolinaweek.org to link to the Center for Healthy Student Behaviors. The center offers information and programs to help students live less stressful, healthier lives.
Many students who are stressed out about graduating and joining the workforce are choosing another option. Applications are on the rise in Carolina's Peace Corps recruiting office. The office was created on campus this fall and is one of only 40 in the U.S. Carolina is ranked 10th among all universities for the number of alumni in the Peace Corps, 50 right now. Representatives say that could be because of the high number of service opportunities on campus. Recruiter Buddy Bradley says if you want to join them after graduation, now is the time to sign up.
The application process takes between 6 months and 9 months, and sometimes closer to a year. So if you're graduating in May, I would suggest that you come in and speak with us now.
For more information, email peacecorps@unc.edu.
Would you pay several $100s extra for a class? Some Carolina students are forking over big bucks for PE perks. Carolina Week's Tiffany Womack has more.
Each semester, some Carolina students drive 45 minutes away from campus to Quail Roost Stables in Durham several times a week to take a course in horseback riding. Both UNC and Duke University students pay up to $450 per semester to learn trotting, safety jumps, and how to care for the horses. That's a lot of driving and a lot of extra money, but Carolina student Hannah Johnson says she's taking the class for a second time.
I'm taking the class again next semester because I've been riding since I was a little kid, and I took some time off and I really missed it, and it's a nice break from classes and school just to come out here and think about something else.
Carolina biology student and Olympics equestrian team trainee Lori Creefeld teaches the class. She says the class has a lot to offer.
The students should look forward to learning how to properly deal with your horse and at each individual level. They should look forward to bonding with a certain horse. Usually we try to keep each student on one horse throughout the semester.
If horseback riding in Durham 2 to 3 times a week sounds exciting, what about skiing in the cold and snowy Appalachian Mountains?
For 3 decades, UNC students as well as NC State students have been receiving 1 hour of physical education credit while having fun on the ice.
This year, 129 Carolina students will travel 3.5 hours to the Appalachians for a week-long course on the slopes during the last week of December. Ed Shields of the UNC Department of Exercise and Sports Science teaches the Carolina ski class. He says it's a lot of extra money, but students get plenty of bang for their bucks.
The student will get 4 nights lodging, they will get lessons, they will get lift tickets, and they will get rental ski equipment. And that's a package price that you're not going to be able to find anywhere else.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Tiffany Womack, Carolina Week.
Despite the extra time and money, these classes fill up fast. Skiing is full, but there's still a chance to saddle up this spring.
Tell you what, that snow in the mountains, I'm sure they're loving it right now because they're probably getting dumped, but we've seen a little bit here, Brittany.
Yes, we have. And if the weather outside is any indication, it looks like it's going to be a hard winter this year, and we're predicted to have an above-average snowfall. And speaking of snow, that goes along with this week's weather question. What is the average total snowfall the Triangle receives in a year? A, 1.5 inches, B, 3.4 inches, C, 5.8 inches, Or D, 7.4 inches? I'll have the answer and this weekend's forecast just after the break.
Aluminum, instead of from raw materials, reduces air pollution by 95%. Recycle. It's the everyday way to save the world. Recycling all our Sunday papers would save over 500,000 trees a week. Recycle. It's the everyday way to save the world. Recycling a glass bottle saves enough energy to run the TV you're watching for 1 full hour. Recycle. It's the everyday way to save the world.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. We have ignition. We have liftoff. Join the next mission aboard the Moorhead Planetarium. For more information on Star of Bethlehem, call 549-6863.
Hi, and welcome back to Carolina Week. Cold temperatures and wintry predictions have been the story this week. Today, students were greeted with rain, sleet, and snow as they walked around campus. And the winter storm that has affected the Triangle area has also blanketed areas of Arkansas and Oklahoma. And for anyone out there who's been dreaming of a white Christmas, Asheville has a 7% chance of seeing snow on Christmas, Charlotte a 1% chance, Greensboro a 10% chance, and Raleigh a 3% chance. On our satellite map, we see that a strong jet flow from the north has been dipping down south and connecting with a tropical jet flow, bringing many southern states wintry precipitation in the form of snow, sleet, and freezing rain. As this system moves off, we'll have a westerly wind flow with cold, dry conditions. On our surface map, we see that we have a classical cold air damming event. This happens when we have a strong high pressure system to the north and cold air is brought down from the north. The cold air is blocked against the Appalachian Mountains and there's a warm air aloft. In our four-day forecast, we see that Friday, there will be a high of 42 degrees and a low of 25 degrees. Saturday, there will be a high of 48 degrees and a low of 22. Sunday, it'll be a bit cloudy. We'll have a high of 55 degrees and a low of 30 degrees. And on Monday, we'll still have those clouds, and it'll be a high of 48 degrees and a low of 32. If you're headed to the beach for a pre-exam break, there'll be a high of 55 degrees and a low of 28 on Saturday. On Sunday, it'll be partly cloudy, and there'll be a high of 58 degrees and a low of 35. If you're headed to the mountains to take advantage of this winter weather, on Saturday, there will be a high of 42 degrees and a low of 18 degrees. And on Sunday, it'll be cloudy with a high of 42 and a low of 28. And if you're headed out to the ski resorts, right now at this point, there are 5 trails open at Appalachian Ski Resort. At Ski Beach, you have 5 trails open, and at Sugar Mountain, there are 7 trails open. So Triangle residents have had an excellent opportunity to take advantage of the winter weather, but if Triangle residents do have to go out, make sure to have caution and to stay safe on the roads. But does anyone have an answer to this week's weather question?
What do you think, Steve?
What do you think?
We'll try C again.
C. Once again, C is not the right answer. Actually, the average total snowfall the Triangle receives in a year is 7.4 inches.
Thanks, Bernita. Snow's going to make it tough to get inside and study for exams coming up.
That's very true.
7.4 inches, wow, that's a lot. And speaking of a lot, our Carolina basketball team had a lot of wins early on.
They did, but they had some trouble last night, hit a brick wall.
They hit a brick wall,
Yeah,
and we'll
did.
tell you about that. And also coming up, we'll take a look at one athlete whose season is complete but still getting attention. Carolina Sports is next.
Mrs. Abruzzo, I'm Ed McMahon, and we're signing up people for. Yes, I am. Yeah. Miss Murphy, Ed McMahon. We're starting up. No.
Dreams really do come true.
Dinero. No.
Yes,
Ed
con
McMahon,
cameras.
see.
Ed McMahon.
Yes, Ed McMahon. We're having our first
Ed
ever.
McMahon.
Yes. Tuesday night at the high school. We're starting up the neighborhood watch in this area, and here's all the information.
Stevie, get down here, please.
No, it's just
5, 6, 7, 8.
No tango dinero. Neighborhood watch. We're having this neighborhood watch, the first one. Right.
Larry, put some pants on.
I'll come back.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Start a neighborhood watch. It's just one of the many ways you can help make America stronger. To find out how, call or log on for this free guide.
Welcome back. The Carolina men's basketball team kicked off its season with a red-hot 5-0 start. Big wins against then number 2 Kansas and currently ranked Stanford, and a preseason NIT championship helped the young team ascend to a number 12 ranking in the latest Associated Press poll. But the squad, chock full of freshmen, would run out of luck in Champaign-Urbana Tuesday night in the annual ACC Big Ten Challenge. The Hills would start out well, even taking an 8-point advantage in the first half. But it would be the Illini who would take advantage of Carolina. On the inside and the outside, the Hills couldn't recover and would fall to number 25 Illinois 92-65. Carolina now looks ahead to a showdown against perennial powerhouse Kentucky Saturday at the Dean Dome. Game time is 2 p.m. Now, while most students were recovering from Thanksgiving feast, the women's soccer team was trying to advance to the Final Four. The Hills facing Texas A&M on Friday when the Alyssa Ramsey show breaks out. 22 seconds in, Lindsey Tarpley feeds Annie Morrell, and Morrell gives it up to Ramsey, who puts it in, and the Hills celebrate by forming a human pile on Ramsey. Yes, she would be fine. More Ramsey on the corner kick. She finds Maggie Tomeka for the header, and the Hills looked against the Aggies 2-0. Jenny Branham makes a cameo with some big match saves in the match. But back to Ramsey. She puts away another goal. Carolina wins 3-0. Ramsey and the Hills have reason to celebrate as they advance to the NCAA Women's College Cup semis for the 21st year in a row. Now, Carolina will take on Santa Clara at 7:30 Friday night in Austin, Texas, in the Hills' quest for a 17th national championship. Santa Clara beats Carolina last year for the national title, so a rematch is in order. As for the fall season wraps up, the winter season is just underway, and women's teams from each session are enjoying success. The women's basketball team finished third in the Rainbow Wahine Classic. Freshman Latangela Atkinson averaged more than 13 points and 8 rebounds a game to lead the team. The Hills host Appalachian State Thursday in the Smith Center, and that's because the volleyball team will host Winthrop and Carmichael in the first round of the NCAA tournament in Carmichael Auditorium. If they win, the Hills will host the winner of the American University South Carolina game Friday night. The Hills are hoping to reach the Sweet 16 for the first time in school history by winning those 2 games. Now, the women's cross-country season is over, but people are still talking about Shalane Flanagan's record-breaking championship race, a race she was actually surprised to finish so quickly.
I was kind of shocked because my time at pre-nats was 20 seconds slower than the day when I won, so I was kind of amazed that I ran almost 20 seconds faster on the day of a championship, because usually championship days you do have to step up, but I didn't know I was going to step up that big.
And stepping up is exactly what junior runner Shalane Flanagan did all season for the women's cross-country team. And Flanagan saved her best for last, placing first in the cross-country national tournament. In the process, she demolished the course record by 19 seconds. To many, this comes as no surprise. The defending NCAA cross-country female athlete of the year was coming off an undefeated 2002 season in which she led her team to a 21st finish nationally. With at least a year and a half left at Carolina, Flanagan is already a 3-year ACC tournament champion, a 3-year NCAA District 3 champion, and now a 2-time defending National Runner of the Year, with what she hopes is still a bright future ahead.
Next year I'll hopefully be redshirting indoor and outdoor season in hopes of having a good qualification or a good race at the Olympic trials.
Now, after a dismal 3-9 football season in which the defense ranked last in the ACC in yards and points allowed, Coach John Bunning decided it was time for a change. He fired defensive coach Ron Broadway. In a statement issued today, Bunning said, "I appreciate the hard work, the loyalty, and dedication Rod has given to the Carolina football team over the last 2 seasons. However, I decided we need to make a change at this position. There's no word yet as to who will replace Broadway." And speaking with Carolina football, Julius Peppers, who played here last year, obviously, will not uphold his 4-game suspension of ephedrine, so that battle's lost. He's out for the rest of the season in the NFL.
Okay. What an incredible career for Shalane Flanagan. It's pretty awesome.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Also, congratulations to you for graduating and wish you the best of luck once you finish out of here.
We'll
Thanks a
miss
lot.
you.
Appreciate it.
Coming up after the break, it's hard to resist a meal for $1.
It is, but sometimes the cheapest option isn't the healthiest. Stay tuned. We'll have that special report after the break.
Hey guys, time for takeoff! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! Wow! Whoa, look at that! Is that Jupiter?
Hey kids, it's time to go to the planetarium.
Moorhead Planetarium, where dreams become reality.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
For the 1.3 million children living with AIDS, we can do more than just learn the facts about HIV. Through Caring for Kids 101, a campus outreach program, college students nationwide are helping to end this deadly disease. Half of all newly infected people are under the age of 24. Your assignment, get involved with Caring for Kids 101.
Every child deserves the chance to live a healthy life. Support the Elizabeth Glaser Pediatric AIDS Foundation.
College students are always looking for ways to save a buck.
But sometimes the best for your budget isn't the best for your health. Carolina Week's Jade Biggio reports.
College students. They're in a hurry, on the go, and up late. So oftentimes meals have to be quick.
Well, I probably do fast food. When I'm at school, I normally do it about maybe twice or 3 times a week.
If you thought you couldn't buy anything for $1 anymore, think again. More and more fast food chains are attracting customers with 99-cent items on their menus. We asked for a list of nutrition facts from 4 different chains. McDonald's gave us this take-home guide, Burger King had them posted on the wall, but employees at Wendy's and Hardee's told us they didn't have any on hand. So we found the information online. A Big Bacon Classic from Wendy's serves up 260 calories and 29 grams of fat. A Big Mac from McDonald's has 590 calories and 34 grams of fat. Hardee's $6 burger has 562 calories and 62 grams of fat. But Burger King's Double Whopper with cheese takes the prize with 1,150 calories and 76 grams of fat. UNC nutritionist Karen Erickson says the big problem is not what we're eating, but how much.
Get a smaller portion size. I found that people don't really listen to their hunger.
So maybe now you'll think twice when answering the question, do you want fries with that? In Chapel Hill, I'm Jade Biggio, Carolina Week.
Well, all 4 chains mentioned in the story have websites where you can find the nutrition facts.
For links to those sites, visit carolinaweek.org. That does it for this edition of Carolina Week. We'll see you back here after the break.
Have a safe and happy holiday. Good night.
Good night.